Welcome to Subramani. In this series on wealth creation, I thought I'll cover what mistakes young investors make, which hinders the wealth creation process, and these are very common ones. Not that you have not heard them. So let me just start. So first is not even knowing where to start. They keep postponing. Now this procrastination is quite hurtful, because you may just say, oh, I'm too scared. It is very whom should I talk to, how should I start, do I need to do mutual funds or should I do direct equity? And these things are not something which are enjoyable to answer, right? So it's too painful. So what do? You just postpone it. It is exactly like the visit to the dentist. You don't do it till you reach a stage when you say, oh my god, my tooth is aching and I can't eat, or I can't sleep, I can't sit, or you reach that situation. Or you're planning some big trip, you're planning a 10-day vacation or a 15-day vacation or an office trip, and you know that if you suddenly develop toothache in that new location, you will have a problem. So then you say, okay, let me just go to the dentist, right? So exactly like that. Investing is not so painful, though some people do make it that painful. So so that causes procrastination. So of course, procrastination or saying not starting early enough, you have all heard enough examples. You can go to you don't need AI, you can just go to Google and say Sham started investing at 25, Ram started investing at 35, what happened? And there are many such stories, right? So yeah, not starting early, and which means procrastination. That is first. Second one, which I feel, is not having enough financial education for yourself and for your family, because it's very important that your family understand things like variability in the return, right? Which is standard deviation is going to happen. There is going to be variance. You need to understand that equity can give fantastic return for a few years and then terrible return for a few years. On an average, you will outperform fixed income things like bank fixed deposits or PPF. But there could be a 5-year period or a 7-year period where your PPF outperforms equity. So in the initial stages, when you start investing and nothing happens for 5, 6 years, 7 years, your portfolio goes nowhere, then you will get taunts from the family saying, we told you, for us PPF is good enough. Why do you go and put money in equity? Why did you do SIP? That is the time when your education and communication skills should come into play. Right, explaining to your dad why asset allocation, what you have done, what is an emergency fund, how you have created it. When you do all that, then your parents think, oh, this guy is doing something scientific, or this girl is doing something scientific, right? So be careful about that, and especially if your parents are being bankers, right? Your father has been a banker or your mother has been a banker, then they don't understand investing. That's a very sad situation. So they'll say, I told you, I can get 0.5% extra because I'm an employee. So instead of 7.25, we would have got 7.75. You've gone and put in equities, right? You'll have to take all those taunts. Lack of financial education for self, friends and family, because you have to teach them also what this thing is, because they have to stand by you when the markets are down. Then of course, chasing hot tips and investments. Believe me, I do it after 40 years of being in this business. There is still that can I look at something where my money is going to double in 2 weeks kind of a thing. Okay, may not be 2 weeks, but all this greed for unlisted shares, that HDB, which was the HDFC Bank's company, HDFC Securities, right? Then I think a couple of maybe ICICI, some names, SBI Mutual Fund. These are all shares which are going around when people are saying, oh, the IPO is coming now in 2001, 2002, 2025. It's just happening. It's just not yet come with an IPO, right? So these are shares which are very attractive. So let me name the company. One company called Farmeasy was offered to me at 106 rupees a share, and believe it or not, the only reason why I did not put money is they said minimum lot is 1 lakh. Can I split it between husband and wife? No, Subra, you can't. You have to put 1 crore in one fund, which means 1 crore 6 lakhs I had to give a check to buy shares of Farmeasy, right? And I didn't. and after that the same share was offered to me at 90, at 80, and by the time I was smart enough that the guy who made this offer, I knew him and I knew what kind of deals he'll keep offering. So then I found out that the share was now worth 5-6 rupees. Afterwards, in retrospect, I can say that I did not like the whole structure, what they bought was the whole thing. I didn't like it at all. I'm not even giving it names. I don't want a libel suit against me, but that greed tempted me after 40 years experience, right? So that is bound to happen. So chasing trends, chasing hot investments, saying, oh, he made money in equity, he made money in tech companies, he made money in Zomato, so let me go and put money. Be careful. Others' hot tips may not work for you. Of course, there is another worry today that I see among younger people is the gamification of investing. I think this is the big problem. You have to have your phone, you see a red line and a green line and flashing lights, then you go and buy some 10 shares or 20 shares. This is exactly how you play Dream 11 cricket. You have to put only 49 rupees. So you are very happy doing that for 49 rupees, and then end of the day say, oh, I got 49 rupees, which means you didn't earn anything, but you put 49 and you got back 49. You lost once, you won something happened, and you have not made money, but you're happy that you didn't lose much money, right? You didn't lose much money. What did you lose is only time. Now then after 49, then next year tomorrow you put 98 or things like that. So that gamification of the market means that more and more people are now over trading and trying to do market timing. So they would go and frequent buying and selling happens, and they think they can beat the market by doing this, and they rack up lot of fees and lot of GST, right? STT, right? You do all that. You're creating money for the state government, you're creating money for the central government, you're creating money for the broker. These are the voluntary contributors to the broker welfare fund. So you're doing all this because you have no clue what you're doing, except that it looks like a game. It's not a game. Investing is not a game. Investing, you have to do very, very few transactions over very long periods of time, right? So I have Gillette, which I bought maybe at 70 rupees, and today it is 7,000 rupees. It allows you to sit over long periods of time. So gamification is a problem. Not diversifying at all, because when suddenly you find some small success in equity, you think, oh, all my money should be in equity. I'm young, I can take risks, so I'll put all my money in equity. That's true, that's great, provided you are putting in a good portfolio. But if you bought shares which are, well, at best dubious, then you are in trouble. Right. Another thing is ignoring fees, ignoring costs, not understanding how much is the cost of doing a transaction. When you go to a broker's office and sit there, and the tea and lunch and breakfast is unlimited, and that's how we used to operate, you don't even realize that that free lunch is coming because of the brokerage that you're giving, right? So they love you, so they can afford to give you endless cups of tea, one lunch once or twice a week. It doesn't hurt at all. The kind of money that you make out of this guy not going out of the office to eat itself is huge. So be careful about that. Be careful about not diversifying. Be careful about ignoring fees and costs, ignoring taxation, right? So if you earn money in and if you try to keep that money in your wife's account, that will get clubbed. So not understanding some basic fees, cost structure and taxation can really hurt you. Then of course there is letting emotions drive decisions, fear, greed leading to impulsive, oh my god, this is March 2020, there is COVID, it's time to sell off all the shares, the prices are low. No, doesn't matter, just sell it. The world is coming to an end. I know such people who thought the world is coming to an end and sold very good shares at really lousy prices. To me, when these people sell, it was a fantastic counter indicator to say, okay, this is a great time to be buying. That's a reward time when these guys are selling. When young investors taking too much risk, if you have a family to support, you cannot afford to take too much risk. A lot of your money should be in debt instruments because your family depends on you. If you're if you're son of rich children, rich parents, you can obviously do whatever you want because you have parents to fall back on. If you have not created that fallback cushion and it is not naturally available, you have to be more careful. Obviously, if you neglect emergency funds, then you will sell in times of complete distress, right? So that could also happen. Then another portion is not knowing whom to trust. You just turn to somebody who every day is willing to give you tips. Normally, this is a relationship manager appointed by your discounted brokerage firm or your bank, and they want you to do a lot more transactions than what you're doing, because for them to make money they need that velocity. But not understanding all this is also a problem. So you have to take advantage of tax advantage accounts like PPF, etc. But you can't put too much money in PPF because you're still young, and a lot of your money should go into equity. Of course, one classic mistake is spending more than what you are earning. When you do that, obviously a part of your money goes into recycling the credit card. End of the month you have to pay, but you don't have enough to pay, so you pay partially. Then again, after some time, end of the month, you find that your credit amount is increasing. So track your credit score. Not tracking your credit score is also important, because you don't know when you're going amok with your card and increasing your outlay, and finding that you are now slowly getting addicted to debt. Be careful about all this. Of course, you can't ignore inflation, because inflation is going to hurt you and make all your goals be more expensive. So if you have a goal to buy a car after 5-6 years, you may need to provide for more. Those basic things about inflation one should know. To avoid these footfalls, young investors should be starting early, educating themselves, pay yourself first. I've created a video saying pay yourself first, what it means, creating a diversified portfolios, sticking to a long-term plan, and reviewing a financial strategy on a regular basis. Thank you.